What's up, guys? Steven Hyder, Gate City Sports Channel. Sorry, man, I've been playing around with this thing. I just kind of figured out how to go live on it. If you guys didn't catch the first spill of what I was saying earlier, guys, the deal is Philly Mike and I have been talking for a long time. We've been trying to work out tools for what to go live with. And look, we ended up figuring out that StreamYard might be an option for us. So I'm just kind of testing this out for Philly Mike and I. Now, the conversation I want to talk about, guys, while I got this live. Once we kind of get some people filtering in, what I really want to talk about is this idea of free agency. I really want to get into the free agency issues that are going on. And, you know, it's interesting, this idea of what's going on with the Philadelphia Eagles at the wide receiver position. Because the wide receiver position to me is like this huge mystery. There's just not a lot. There's not a lot to be confident in when it comes to the wide receiver position, because we don't really know what the future is going to hold for us, because our contract situations are so complex when it comes to players like Alshon Jeffrey, when it comes to players like Deshaun Jackson. As a matter of fact, I was reading an article the other day from Bleeding Green Nation, and they were talking about Alshon Jeffrey's his contract. I see somebody just came in. If you can hear me, let me know, guys, because look, I couldn't find my headset, guys, so I had to basically take my onboard mic or not onboard mic, but my mic I use, my Rode mic I use for my camera, and put it in my laptop. So hopefully you guys can hear me. If you can't hear me, just let me know in the comments you can't hear me. So that way I'll know to take this on. I'll take this off and use the onboard mic from the laptop. But Bleeding Green Nation, they had an article, and I can see, I don't think I have it up anymore, guys. Maybe I do. Eagles barely beat the Giants. Hang on, I'm just looking through to see if I have any of it. But anyways, the basis of the article from Bleeding Green Nation was this. Bleeding Green Nation was talking about the Alshon Jeffrey contract, right? And they were talking about like the fact that like it's for a lot of money. But the weird thing is the way that they were explaining it inside the article could mislead people to believe that if you cut Alshon Jeffrey, then you're only really suffering $10 million against the cap. Well, that's not the way the cap figures work on dead money. You got to eat that full $26 million. The difference is between what his base salary would be anyways, not his base salary, but his total salary with base and all the incentives, compared to the dead cap money is an additional $2 million or $10 million. So you would have to eat that full $26 million. What's going on, guys? I see there's two of y'all in here now. Guys, just do me a favor. If you're in the comments section, let me know if you can hear me or not. Like I said, guys, I'll say it again, but I had to basically rob my camera or the mic off my camera because I cannot find my headset. I have no clue what I do with my headset. As it figures when I go to play around with a live session, I can't find my headgear. So it's my luck, man. It's how stuff works sometimes, guys. However, back to Alshon again. I'm sorry, guys. I keep bouncing on and off this topic. Dead money. So what happens with dead money is simple. With dead money, you can't just transfer dead money away. That's not the way dead money works. Like, once you have dead money on your books, that dead money is there. Like, you can't trade dead money. You can't release dead money. I don't even think you can do an injury settlement with dead money. I still think you have to pay the dead money against your salary cap because the contract's still guaranteed. So the way Bleeding Green Nation was explaining it and made it sound is like they made it sound as if they went away from the dead money, if they released Alshon, that it would only cost us $10 million. And that's not true. It cost us $10 million more above his already guaranteed contract. So basically what you would be talking about at that point, guys, is $26 million we'd have to eat by letting Alshon go next year. And I'm here to tell you guys, I don't know that if Alshon was 100% healthy going into next year, that would be one thing. I would say, like, dude, no matter what you feel about Alshon, you can't eat $26 million. You got to play him. But if the guy's going to be out the same way that Jalen Mills was out for a full 12 months because of this injury, I think it's a different conversation, because you're going to eat the money no matter what. But maybe you could get a cheaper alternative if you just, basically allowed Alshon Jeffrey to walk. You're still going to eat the money, but you were going to eat the money without him playing anyway. So I think that changes the narrative around the story of Alshon Jeffrey, because early on I felt like there's just no way, like, you can't eat that kind of dead cap money. For you guys that are just tuning in, what I'm referencing is that Bleeding Green Nation article that came out a few days ago about Alshon Jeffrey and the money situation. Now, if you guys want to know where I'm getting this idea of dead money and how that stuff works. I'll try to do a let me try to do a share screen for you guys. See if I can't get that to work, and I'll show you guys exactly like how I learn information when it comes to like dead money and why we can't transfer that money anywhere. We were just basically trapped with that dead money contract. So let me see what we got here. Da-da-da. Yeah, that all works good, guys. I'm gonna go Chrome tabs, guys. All right, that should work. I'm gonna share this with you now, guys. All right. So hopefully you guys can see what I'm looking at. Where it says dead money. All right, dead money. It's bold. Refers to salary a team has already paid or has committed to paying. Signing bonus, full and guaranteed bonus, base salary, earned bonuses, etc., but has not been charged against the salary cap. In business terms, it is essentially a sunk cost. Any money a team pays a player must be accounted for against the salary cap. If there is dead money in a player's contract and he is released or retires, that charge will accelerate onto the team's salary cap for the current year. There is one avenue to lower this cap hit in a current season, the June 1st designation. Teams can spread the cap hit over 2 seasons by releasing or trading a player after June 1st. Or what you can do is you can designate 2 players prior to June 1st while still using the designation to basically get that dead money over a 2-season period. So you still have to pay the full $26 million, but if you designate him as that June 21st, sorry guys, I'm taking this off now. If you designate him as that June 1st, given that June 1st designation as soon as the season ends, and you just decide it's going to be 12 months, then at least you could take that $26 million that Alshon Jeffrey is due and spread that over 2 seasons. So that would lower some of the craziness of the contract, but it doesn't fully lower the contract in itself. You're still going to have to, you're still going to have to pay that out. Like you're going to have to pay the full contract out. It just won't be over 1 year. It'll be over 2 years. Now, the real question becomes is Alshon Jeffrey expendable now that we know that he could possibly be out for 12 months? I mean, if he's possibly out for 12 months, my opinion is that Robert Davis's performance here tonight can have big impact, or not tonight, I'm sorry, guys, tomorrow can have a huge impact on the Eagles. Because that is a guy who traditionally plays the X, just like J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. I mean, both of these guys kind of have a chance to really prove that we can move away from Jeffrey now with this injury. It's not ideal in terms of the cap situation, but the entire situation is not ideal now. Before, like I said, if Alshon was playing, that's one thing. You got to eat that money for at least one more season until it makes sense. But now that he's going to be out for a full, basically 12 months is what it's looking like, I think it's a little bit more reasonable now to just release that and get a roster spot back. You're not going to be able to get anyone high dollar, but you can use that on, draft picks. You can use that on guys that are on the practice squad that we just called up, like Greg Davis, who's been playing for us the last couple of weeks. Possibly maybe Robert Davis, Greg Ward. Why did I just say Greg Davis? Greg Ward Jr. and Robert Davis. Like guys like that now would have an opportunity to prove to that, the organization that they would be viable solutions to what's going on with this receiving core. Now, what I will say is it's not easy. It's not easy to move away from contracts like that. I wouldn't put it past Howie Roseman to still eat that number, even though he's going to be out for a full year. That's what it's looking like. I don't think that's smart, guys. And I think if you're going to move away from him, now's the time to move away from him. Like, it sucks. I liked Alshon personally, guys, but look, man, I mean, you're down for a whole year. I can't see paying that figure for that period of time. To me, it doesn't make any sense. Now, the other side to this is when you get to someone like Deshaun Jackson. If you guys want, I'll do a share screen again. And I'll show you Deshaun Jackson's figures for what he's going to make this upcoming season. So let me go back to share screen for you guys again. Go to my Chrome tabs. And all right, I'm going to take you guys to Deshaun Jackson's breakdown of his contract. So this is from Spot Track. Guys, you can use different ones. I'm just trying to use the same one that I used for Alshon, just that way I stay consistent. But if you look at Deshaun Jackson's 2020 figures, guys, he's scheduled to make a base salary of $6,200,000. He's got a signing bonus of $1.434 million. He's getting a roster bonus of $400,000. He's got a $500,000 option, so that could technically be waived. A $400,000 workout bonus, and his overall cap hit is $8.934 million. Now the dead cap money on Deshaun Jackson is $12.536 million, which you can see over there, guys. Now, this is what I'll say about that. The dead cap honestly is not that bad on that one. You're still going to eat more than what you have paid into. So if the organization decided to release Deshaun Jackson, J. Smack Johnson, I agree that it's hard to just eat $26 million. And if Alshon Jeffrey wasn't going to be out for the full 12 months, dude, I'd be right on board with you. With him basically being out for the entire season anyways. And further results have to come from this, J. Smack Johnson, just to be clear. We have to have more come out of this. Yeah, but it is looking like he's going to have a similar injury to Jalen Mills where he will be out for a full 12 months. That's almost the entire year. So we're already kind of eating Alshon's contract. Jason Wall, if they restructured Alshon, I think you'd have to have him in the plans for the long-term future, which I'm not personally opposed to that. But once again, like, you have to restructure that contract. He's probably not going to take anything less than probably a 3-year kind of guarantee on that. So that way you can protect his roster, his roster spot for that 3-year period of time. And you might be onto something, Jason. They might restructure it. Keeping Deshaun, I do agree. And that's what I was getting into. Although the dead money is less on Deshaun. So you're still going to eat about $3.5 million in addition to his salary if you let Deshaun Jackson walk. But that, I think, it's a little more reasonable than having to eat $26 million, which is an additional $10 million over the base salary of Alshon. However, I think where Jason and other people are going with this is that Deshaun, if he's healthy, still a very productive wide receiver. He's still hands down the best wide receiver we have on the roster, and hands down, he's probably still the best deep threat in the league when he's healthy. I mean, I've watched a lot of football in my life, guys, and I've never seen someone who has the ability to track the deep ball the way that Deshaun does. I don't know that I'll see that again in my lifetime. It probably would be pretty rare to find that again. Now, what I was kind of getting into is when we're looking at these contracts with Deshaun Jackson and Alshon Jeffrey is these guys that are getting an opportunity to play right now. These guys, they have a chance to really audition themselves to be on the roster for next year, because I don't make predictions for the office, guys, because I have no clue what those guys are thinking. I would do things a hell of a lot different than they do it. But I don't get a say in that. I'm not on their payroll. However, I do think that Greg Ward Jr. and I do think that, like, Robert Davis, Joshua Perkins, I think these guys have an opportunity to actually get themselves in a position basically to warrant, having a long-term future with the organization, being able to maybe sneak onto this roster for next year. I still think we're going to draft. We have to draft a wide receiver. We might even have to be in the mix in free agency. My main problem is I'm not too sure that, like, players like Robbie Anderson are going to make it to free agency. I hope they do, because Robbie Anderson, pretty good football player, but my gut instinct tells me that more than likely the Jets are going to lock him up for free agency. Now, if they make the mistake and they don't lock him up, sure, I think the Eagles should be all in on something like that. I also think, though, that you got these guys that are auditioning this Sunday, tomorrow. They got the last few weeks of the season to really prove themselves, to prove that these are weapons that are capable of helping this organization. So these are, big weeks for the Eagles to try to figure some things out. I mean, I've watched a lot of the coverage from the national media members, and it's been annoying the hell out of me how many of them keep coming on and telling all of us, like, oh, well, the Eagles can't score points now. The Eagles can't score points now. My question to them is what about the season up to this point made them feel any more secure about the Eagles scoring points prior to these injuries? Sure, when Deshaun Jackson was in there, I absolutely agree that we could have scored points way more than we've been scoring. But without Deshaun, with it just being like, Alshon Jeffrey, when it was Alshon Jeffrey and it was Jordan Matthews and Mac Hollins and these other guys, like, I mean, aren't we kind of splitting hairs here? I don't understand why they're so much less confident in this group than they were in the previous group. I agree that the other group with Alshon Jeffrey is probably more consistent and more talented, but production, I think those guys in the fourth quarter produced way more than those other receivers have over the course of the year. So to me, I don't understand the national media's narrative on this, to be quite honest. Jason Mack Johnson. We're going to draft 2 wide receivers, 1 cornerback. These wide receivers we have right now, maybe one make it. If you're playing the odds of it, probably. But I think there's an opportunity for 2 to make it, to be honest. I think Greg Ward Jr. has probably played himself onto the football team for next year. I would be shocked if they don't bring back Greg Ward Jr. because, number one, the players in the locker room are supporting him. I think the bigger issue becomes what happens with guys like Robert Davis. What happens, obviously they're not going to give up on a second-round pick in J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. That's not going to happen for another couple of years. And I don't think that we should give up on J.J. Arcega-Whiteside yet. I think J.J. has ability. I just think that he needs more refinement and polishment in his route running. And I think a large part of why he's been so underwhelming has to do with the fact that our position coaches are trash. They're not good. I shouldn't be able to jump on the all-22 review of football games, look at the position groups, and know definitively from the small amount of football I've played in my life exactly what's happening with these positions, especially when it comes to wide receiver and quarterback. I played way more quarterback in my life than I played wide receiver, but I played both. I was a flanker when I played. And it's shocking to me, like, how badly coached this team is. It's these positions. If I was Doug Peterson, and I don't know what this man says behind the scenes, guys, but I would have these guys asses when the cameras weren't rolling, because they're making him go up to that podium week after week and, basically try to duck haymakers from reporters because they're not doing their job. And you know what? To an extent, Doug has to I understand not wanting to, like, give your people up publicly, but at the same time, man, like, accountability is still accountability. You don't have to give them up to basically review what's going on and say, like, hey, like, here's the deal. Like, we need more production out of this, this position group. We need to do more things in practice. We're clearly failing the mark here without explicitly throwing those position coaches under the bus. I think something like that needs to happen. What's up, Jason Wallace? He needs reps. JJ, yeah, absolutely. He still needs more reps. He's going to get them. Just by the pure limitation of what we have available on the football field, JJ is going to get reps. It's going to happen. What I'm hoping is that there's some kind of structure within this coaching staff that these reps have meaning to them. Because if we're just putting him through the emotions of the game without really helping him build upon the experience he's gaining, I'm not too sure it's doing him any good. That's my biggest fears. I really don't believe in Carson Walsh at all. I don't believe in his ability to coach at all. I think this, I hate to keep harping on Doug Peterson, guys, but I think he made a critical error when he got into an agreement with Howie Roseman that they should take a great position coach and grow and move him to the offensive coordinator. That was a mistake. It was a mistake. You basically put all these young guys who had not ideal amounts of experience in the positions that they were going to be placed into, and then put all the burden on your shoulders. And now we've watched it all kind of fall apart, from issues with health, issues with the roster depth to an extent, all the way down to issues with the individual drills and coaching from those position coaches now. It's a travesty what's going on with this organization right now, especially from the coaching standpoint. Like, I like Groh as a position coach. Hate the move with him being the offensive coordinator. It's just not a good move. And I do think that he takes way more shit than he should be taking, because I don't think a lot of this crap is actually on Groh. I think the biggest complaint I have about Mike Groh is I just don't feel that Doug Peterson respects his opinion at all. The guy took the podium. He took the stand a couple weeks ago when they were talking about the role of the offense. I don't know if you guys remember when he was talking about the role of the offense, but they asked him straightforward about the running game and the passing game. And, Mike Groh has the designation of being the passing game coordinator, along with being the offensive coordinator. And even Doug said, well, my hands are on that. Then what the hell does this guy do? He calls a 2-minute offense. Clearly, probably helps design some of the plays. But, I don't get it, guys. I think they have to have a more established coach. I think you have to have a more established coach. Let's see. Maniac Matt. Ashawn has to go. He don't want to play for Carson no more. Also, Groh is an ass clown and needs to go immediately. I'll say this, Maniac Matt. Um, well, Grow is definitely very confrontational on the podium, and he brings a lot of criticism on himself by being very standoffish. If you guys have kids, cover their ears for a minute because I'm going to say a word that you probably don't want to explain to your kids. He's kind of a he's kind of a prick. Let's just be real. The dude's a prick. I'll admit that he is. He's a prick. J. Smack Johnson. We should have drafted. Hang on. We shouldn't have drafted JJ. It was clearly 3 or 4 wide receivers better than him. J. Smack, I think you're on to something. I think that there were 3 or 4 wide receivers who were better suited to fit the needs of the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't think we needed an X receiver, to be honest. Jason Wall, not too hot on Press Taylor either. Can't stand him. Jason, I can't stand him. I think he's a horrible position coach. And I know that he's the guy that apparently identified on film the Patriots' use of the Philly special and incorporated it into the Eagles, basically. Maniac Matt, I disagree, bro. Hang on, let me read your next one. I think he's way too conservative for my taste, or at least it appears that way. Are you referring to Grow, or are you referring to Peterson, Maniac Matt? Cody Kleinfelter, who's best fit for OC? I don't like making predictions like that, Cody. But what I'll say is I'll give attributes what I would like to have. I'd like to have a guy who has experience working with quarterbacks, and I'd like to have a guy who's been an OC for a minimum of at least like 3 years. He's got at least 3 years prior experience as an OC. That's what I would like to see come in, someone who's a little more established than what we have right now. Maniac Matt, you're my guy, bro. Appreciate that, Maniac Matt. Right? Laugh out loud. We have to get vertical, guys. Maniac Matt, absolutely. Okay, you were talking about Grow. I got you, Maniac Matt. So going back to your thing about disagree. I don't know that here's what I'm saying, Maniac Matt, about Mike Grow. I don't like him because I don't think Doug Peterson trusts him. I don't think he respects his opinion enough. But also, I'm not too sure how much Doug Peterson honestly allows Grow to contribute to play calling, to play design. It just seems like to me as if like Doug Peterson really has his hands around everything because he doesn't trust the coaches. And to me, that's the most damning thing about Grow is the fact that if your head coach doesn't trust you to handle the responsibilities of an offense coordinator, that kind of says all we need to know, right? That's pretty damning. Like, we should have never moved this guy from wide receiver coach. He was a good position coach, horrible offense coordinator. I don't think that he has the skill set to succeed there. I really don't. What are your guys' thoughts on Greg Ward Jr.? Would you guys keep Greg Ward Jr.? Me personally, I got some concerns about Greg Ward Jr. in terms of his physical stature. I do worry that guy's going to get lit up one day on the field and like it's going to be bad. But at the same time, like, man, that kid finds a way to get open. Greg Ward Jr. is not like a burner. He's not a burner in terms of a wide receiver. He's just a really precise route runner. All right, Cody Kleinfeld. The reason I ask because I don't know college coaches too well, and I do know McCarthy is available. Do you think he would benefit this offense? Cody, yeah, absolutely. If he's willing to come in as an offensive coordinator, absolutely. Maniac Matt, I see what you're saying. Like I'm in agreement with you, Maniac Matt. I would probably move on from him. I'm in agreement with you there. Jason Wall, what do you think about the unlikely prospect of trying to get Romo for quarterback coach? Is that where you're going with that? Sorry, man, it jumped on my screen. For quarterback coach, I'm ready to duck punches. Jason, you might have to duck punches here in Philly land, bro. I like him. I like Romo, man. I mean, all you need to know about Romo is this guy was calling out every play on the broadcast. The guy clearly knows football. The guy's clearly played quarterback at a high level in the NFL. So, I mean, me personally, I mean, if you can't find an established quarterback coach and you got a guy like a Romo out there, I would even, taking maybe a flyer on a guy like, who's a veteran quarterback right now, who's about to retire. I would take one of those guys if they know the game of football well. I just think you either need a very established quarterback coach who has a very long track record, or you need a guy who's played quarterback who is more of a coach's mentality and we can trust will actually help Carson grow. Because I think that's issue number one. Because if Carson Wentz isn't playing up to standard, we're dead in the water. Like, we're dead in the water without him. Maniac Matt, love him. J. Smack Johnson, I got to see him more. Maniac Matt, he's got heart, man. J Smack. I agree. We do need to see him more, but I do like the little bit I have seen from him. Maniac Matt, I'm with you 100% there, man. That dude shows a lot of heart, man, on the football field. Greg Ward Jr. is not a big dude, man. I mean, I guess he's probably around close to 6 foot, what, 5'11" ish, 6 footish, I think somewhere in that area. I think he only weighs like, I don't know, man. I think they list him. What do they list him at, guys? Like 180, 185? And there's no way he weighs that much. He's not a very big guy, man. If you look at him in the locker room, like, if we passed him on the street, there's no way. The only reason we would know him is just because like we're so much of like, ravenous football fans that like we see all these guys and we know them like that. But the average dude that doesn't really watch football, if they pass that guy on the street, I don't think they would ever know that he's a football player. Like he's just not big in stature. Blues dude. I like the guy's ability and I like how he has battled for 2 years so far to get that chance. I like the story as well there, Blues dude. I like the fact that this is a guy who's waited for his opportunity and he seized it when he got the opportunity. I really respect him that he didn't just move on and try to take another shot with another team, especially if they signed like D-Jacks to the roster and everything. I mean, in the back of his mind, he had to be thinking to himself like, damn, like this sucks. Like, I'm never going to get a shot. I'm never going to get my shot because they just signed D-Jacks. So, I mean, yeah, I definitely respect him for sticking it out and battling. Because I probably would have been like, man, I mean, I guess the only chance you could have is like if anything happened to Nelson, like you're clearly the next guy up that can play the slot. Cody, oh, hang on, bro. Everyone jumped on me here. I'm sorry, guys. Some comments rolled in and jumped on me. Romo would not come in as quarterback coach. Philly, let's go D. Maybe. Cody, Tony Romo would be a great quarterback coach. I agree. Philly, let's go D. I also have my doubts if Romo would take a quarterback coaching position. I think he wants a higher position. But if you talk to him, man, maybe it works out. Let's see, especially if he doesn't have opportunities elsewhere. He's got to start somewhere. J Smack, McCarthy got fired because uninvented. Right, but I mean, McCarthy has a lot of experience in a very similar system. And, McCarthy going through the experience of being fired and having a conflict with a quarterback, maybe his life lesson of going through that could maybe benefit someone like Doug Peterson. Because I do think Doug Peterson probably does need a respected coach to counterbalance him, to bring him back, reeling back a little bit. So I think that's what Frank Reich did more than anything. Frank Reich had kind of been through it. He'd been through the ringer. So I think he was a respected guy that could bring him back. Maniac Matt, 180. Maniac Matt, probably closer to 170 or 165. Yeah, man, he doesn't look big to me at all, man. He looks small. He looks really small in stature to me. Blues dude, McCown will be a great coach of quarterbacks. I agree, man. He's already coaching high school football down here in North Carolina. He coached Charlotte. I don't know. I don't think he was coaching Independence. So Charlotte Independence. He was coaching one of the schools out by Charlotte. I'm in Greensboro here, guys. So I'm about an hour and a half, kind of like north of northeast, basically, of that area. I'm about an hour and 15 minutes about northwest of Raleigh, and about an hour and a half northeast of Charlotte. So kind of in between Raleigh and Charlotte. Let's see. Philly, let's go D. One thing, Howie is good. Getting rid of contracts. I see a trade with Alshon. We were kind of talking about that at the beginning. Philly, let's go D. The problem is you can't trade dead money. But I think with Alshon possibly being out for a 12-month period, I think that changes the landscape of things because you're going to eat the contract no matter what now. If he's out for 12 months, if he's got a similar injury to Jalen Mills that requires surgery, and that's going to put him out for a full year, you basically lost him for the entire year anyways. So now I think, number one, I'm not too sure you can trade that because I don't know anyone would trade for that. But number two, I think now you're kind of on a push of whether or not to release him or not now. Now, some people did suggest earlier in the comments that maybe they'll rework the contract. So I do think that's in the realm of possibility they might rework the contract. So that could happen. They could just rework the contract. Let's see. Cody Cook. Sorry, guys. It's jumping every now and then. Our element who can do a few trick plays, throwing and catching the ball. We need to keep him in the toolbox. I like that aspect of that, Cody. I like the way you where you're going with that. I agree that Greg Ward Jr. is a very versatile football player, especially being a former college quarterback. You know what really pisses me off recently, guys? If you guys don't know, I started my undergraduate degree in North Carolina at NC State University. I didn't go to NC State right outside of high school, so although I was around for the Phillip River football team, those years that Phillip Rivers was at NC State, and even though we're close in age, I think he's maybe a year or two older than me. I left and went into the service. I came back to NC State during the Russell Wilson period, actually. What really gets on my nerves is I follow NC State obviously very closely. And there's this comparison that keeps being said about players like Greg Ward Jr. and other ones, and they keep saying that, like, well, there's no excuse for the Eagles and Carson Wentz with Greg Ward Jr. and getting him adapted into the playbook because he's a former college quarterback. Well, so is Jacoby Myers. Right. Jacoby Myers spent 1 year as a college quarterback, guys, and he was like fifth freaking string. All right. He spent the majority of his time at NC State as a slot receiver. And by the way, was probably arguably the best slot receiver in college football last year, to be honest. The guy was a beast. I mean, there were games where he was catching 11, 12. I think there was one game he caught almost damn near 15 passes for NC State. I think he basically saved NC State from an embarrassment against JMU. One game where he basically went beast mode. So, like, I don't think that's a fair comparison because Jacoby Myers had a hell of a lot more years of experience playing wide receiver. Let's see. Let me go up, guys, a little bit because I think it's scrolling down past some of y'all's comments, guys. Lone Revolver 1, who will be a good OC if you had a choice? Honestly, man, I don't know. I would like to get a guy who's experienced. A lot of guys are talking about McCarthy. I'm not opposed to McCarthy. To me, I look at the attributes. Give me someone who has a lot of experience, who's been an OC before, who's well-respected in the league, and can be a counterbalance to Doug Peterson. Because Doug Peterson needs someone he can trust and depend upon. Philly, let's go D. If Davis lights it up tomorrow, this would look bad. Why these kids were not brought up earlier? 100%, man. I think D Block 11X has kind of been harping that point for a while, man. That is Davis should have been brought up a while ago, to be quite honest. It's ridiculous that we waited this long to bring him up. Maniac Matt, as crazy as it sounds, I think we need players with heart that want to play for Carson. I just don't see the starting receivers wanting to play for Carson at this point. I don't know, man. Like, sometimes it's hard to read into those things, to be honest. That could be true. I'll say this. Things looked a lot different when they were out of the lineup last week. So, I mean, it could just be that those young guys, like, really want this opportunity. Maybe that's what's going on. It's hard to say, man. It's really hard to say. Like, it's hard to read those tea leaves. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of that is maybe us putting inference into things that maybe we're not made privy to in the locker room. So I don't know. I really don't know on that one. D Block 11X. We need to do what Russell Wilson has done for him. Get rid of all the players in that building that were anti-Wilson. Same has to be done here. I think if they know that those people are, basically are against Wentz and they've got record of this. And yeah, I agree with you. Like, if you're not on board with Carson Wentz, then you do got to go. Like, guys, he's the future of the Eagles. Like, you're not on board with him. Like, what are you on board with? It just doesn't make sense, right? Sexy Vegan, Jalen Rieger. Yeah, I like him. There's the other kid. Is he coming out like, not Buffalo? There's another kid. He's a real fast kid. Maybe it is Rieger. I got to look it up. But there's a couple in there that I seen from this draft class that got top 10 speed. And I think that's what we need more than anything. Is we got to improve this team speed here. Let's see. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get to your comments, but some of them are really flying in here, guys. All right. Maniac Matt. Shit, I still for Schwartz and Groh got to go at the end of the year. We need new blood in that facility bad. This is what I'll say. I'm generally a supporter of Schwartz, but this is the way I approach things, guys. If you can upgrade, I don't care if it's Peterson. If you can upgrade over Peterson, there's an upgrade available. You upgrade. It's not personal. It's a business. You upgrade. So if there's an upgrade over Schwartz, then I'm with you. If there's someone out there that this organization feels confident in upgrading, like, I'll tell you one guy I like a lot. I don't think it's a lot of credit because sometimes I think he's hard to work with for coaches. Greg Williams. Greg Williams is a good football coach. He's a good D coordinator. But I think that we have to be a little careful because you don't want to do something too drastic on the defensive side of the ball where you have to do a complete rebuild there as well. Because if you just swap in a guy whose system doesn't fit what's being run here, that could be an issue too with personnel. All right, Y2Fly. Sup, my man? How about a wrench? My man, glad to see you live. Great content. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Let me see if I can't figure that out, man. Because this is my first live Y2 Fly, so let me see if I can't figure out. No, I don't want to put you in a timeout or block you. Let me look and see. I got to figure out how to do it. Y2 Fly. As soon as I figure out how to do it, I'll start giving you guys wrenches. I gotta look that up, man. It's my first time doing it, guys. All right, bye bye, Alshon and Nelly. Let's go, Young. I think Nelson Aguilar is absolutely done. I don't think there's any doubt, man. Joe Schubert isn't getting re-signed by the Browns. That's interesting. Yeah, that's definitely interesting. Let's see. Agree with at Philly. Let's go D, especially since it looks like Aguilar isn't playing tomorrow. Bring up Mark and McKell. Don't know why they haven't brought him up, man. Mark and McKell should have already been brought up, in my opinion. The coaching staff had to have known to the point that he wasn't going to play. Like, come on, man. How do they not know Nelly wasn't going to play? It's ridiculous to me. Like, you could read the tea leaves from his comments and know that he had no intention of playing this week. I like Josh Perkins as a big wide receiver. I like the versatility Perkins. I'll be honest with you. If you got kids, guys, cover their ears. I shitted all over Perkins in the preseason because I just did not think he looked good in preseason. But the dude that we saw last week in the fourth quarter, I see why the coaching staff hung on to him. All right. Sorry, guys. Some of y'all, it's jumping on me again. All right. Jace Mack Johnson, he a tight end. He's kind of a both. He's kind of a flex guy. Typo, laugh out loud. Sorry, no big deal, man. Don't worry about it. I think we have some core guys come next year if they pan out. Ward, Davis, and Artiga, along with Djax and 2 drafted guys. Then all of a sudden, we look very good if we re-sign Jay Howard. Cody, that's the big thing for me, man. You got to have Howard got to be on this football team, man. This football, if you want to look at a stat, we're 1-3 since Jordan Howard left the lineup, and we damn near went 0-4. We need Jordan Howard back, bro. I mean, I don't understand. Like, man, get that man a contract. That's all I can say is that man needs a contract now. They're playing too much with him. You let that kid at free agency, and he's gonna get some money. All right, the single high safety is killing me. Maniac Matt is killing me because these guys don't know how to communicate on certain plays, man. If you look at the Eagles, guys, you can always hit me in the comments too and let me know if you guys don't understand certain concepts, and I'll cover it in videos for you. But if you look at when the Eagles do things like quarters coverage, right? So quarters coverages mean breaking the field down in fourths, right? So you got 4 guys covering a fourth of the field, right? One guy's got 1/4, another guy's got 1/4, 4 quarters. You guys get it. So they don't communicate when they're in quarters coverage. When they go quarter, half, somehow, some way, they always run somebody right in the face of that safety that's in that second quarter coverage, and they get burned. Like the communication on some of these safety schemes, it's ridiculous. Like, and then also why they refuse to go into the cover 2 at times. Like, we need to be in cover 2 more often than we get into it. Especially when you got guys like Devontae Parker out there looking like it's a Madden like highlight reel. I mean, he's doing crap that you only see happen when someone's like cheating on Madden, when they sweeping their players up, like everyone on their team's like 99s. Like, it's ridiculous, man. Jace Mack Johnson, y'all better. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry, it drops up on me, man. All right, where'd it go, bro? All right, y'all better not say Rivera. Y'all don't like Rivera, man. All right, Y2 Fly. How does Eagles Nation feel about Davis? Am I the only optimistic fan left? Are your wide receivers look hungry and different in starting lineup? I like Davis, man. Y2 Fly, I'm in on Davis, man. I'm hoping that this kid plays as well as he looks, man, because when I like broke down the film of this kid, I could not believe this kid came off of tearing all 3 ligaments, man. ACL, MCL, and LCL, guys. And by the way, he broke his tibia. He broke his right shin on top of tearing all 3 out. And the dude was just a nightmare in preseason. I don't know how the Redskins let him get out and get away from their organization. That was a mistake. I would have done a lot if I was them to try to keep that kid available. I mean, the Eagles are good at that. Like, we pay our practice squad players more than other organizations do, so we can have a shot at keeping them, retaining them. Cody Cook, have you seen Marcus Johnson is killing it right now in Indy? Always wanted to keep him. Yeah. There's a few guys that I think have left the Eagles organization have done that to us. Turn out to be pretty good stars. I think we do have a general problem about talent evaluation. I know sometimes it's just like when you draft a guy, you have something invested in the guy, so try to give him every opportunity. I get all that, but there are some times where like some guys are just better, man, and you just can't. It's better just to pull the band-aid off, admit your mistake, and say like, hey, but I did find this guy. One part of our scouting department did its job, and it got us this guy. Like, yeah, you can't let guys like that walk out the door. Y2 fly, man. As soon as I figure out how to do wrenches and stuff like that, and make people moderator, I'll do it, man. But I got to go look this stuff up. Man, it's the first time I played with live stream from Stream, whatever the heck this is called, StreamYard. So I sent the link to Philly Mike, but I think he already went to bed, man. We were talking about doing this, so he'll probably see this in the morning. But Philly Mike's going to be joining me on these live, so we'll get it together, guys, and we'll make Y2 Fly, a few of you guys, man. I'll make you guys moderators because it just takes the burden off of me. So yeah, we'll make you moderators. All right, we only have 3 receivers again. Yeah, bro, that's a problem. That's a problem with Doug Peterson, man. That's got to quit happening. Please sign Howard, J. Smack Johnson. Yeah, bro, absolutely. To me, it's ridiculous we haven't done that. All right, Maniac Matt Nelson has. Sorry, guys, jumped on me again, bro. All right, bruh. Sorry, guys. Like a lot of y'all commented on this one. Damn. All right, Nelson has checked out because he's hurting his contract year too much. Nelson just isn't a good receiver at all. Dude cannot track a ball at all. Yeah, bro, he can't track for shit. There are high school players that I've worked with one-on-one and coached. They're better. They're better at tracking the ball than Nelson Aguilar is. And they're 14, 15-year-olds. Sometimes they're 13-year-olds. All right, Cody. I want Howard re-signed. Yeah, me too, bro. Philly, let's go D. I don't get Howard's injury. Got to be more than a stinger. Yeah, bro, that's a long time for a stinger, man. I don't know what happened to him. I heard that the Eagles might actually get a fine for that designation, to be honest with you, for keeping him day to day. So we'll see what happens there. I'm not a fan of Sticks defense. Yeah, me neither, bro. I don't think anyone is. I mean, there's certain circumstances in a game where you go Sticks defense and it makes sense, but sometimes Schwartz does it, and it's just like, why? Why are we doing this? Hate the Sticks too. Yeah, I think that's a consensus. Cody, yeah, his injury got to be worse than a stinger. Probably a slap tear. I don't know, bro. I have no clue what it is. I don't want to speculate, but I think it's definitely worse than a stinger. Jason, wow, I might get killed for this one. Jason, you've been trying to get yourself killed on some of the comments, huh, bro? But Jenkins has blown a lot of coverages this year. Good catch. He has. I wonder if he's salty contract-wise. Come on, man. Yeah, he is. There's no way Jenkins is that bad. Come on. Something's going on. They're uncharacteristic of Jenkins. Calling out management for not calling up Greg Ward Jr. That's not Jenkins' personality, bro. Come on. Something's going on. Just draft CeeDee Lamb. I think a lot of people want that. I think it's a matter of, are we going to be in position to draft him or not? If we're in position, I think we'll make that move. I think we're going to be in on a first or second round wide receiver. Cody, I'm excited to see how him and Carson work. Me too. Sexy Vegan, just think, what would our team be like if Chip drafted Mariota? It would have been exciting. We would have got our popcorn worth. All right, let's see. Why to fly? I don't think CeeDee Lamb will pass 10. You're probably right, man. Until we get to the basically get into the scouting combine and see those workouts, like it's really hard to predict where any of these guys are going to go. Maniac Matt, stay with split safety so we stop getting burnt every game with simple fly routes. We don't have corner speed to keep throwing them to the Wolves every game. You know what's crazy, man, is that Ronald Darby has the speed. Speed's not Ronald Darby's issue. Ronald Darby cannot play the ball in the air. I don't know why, but that guy struggles more than any corner I've seen with his level of speed to simply locate the ball in the air. There was a play that made him look like he got burnt, guys. I'm not even kidding you. You go back, you watch the replay from last week. He stopped. He didn't stop. He slowed down to turn and look for the ball while the receiver was still running instead of playing the receiver's eyes in his hands. Man, this is basic fundamental crap. Like, I can't even say it. My girl will come here. My wife's gonna come here and kill me, bro, if I start screaming and yelling. All right, where we at? Okay, D Block 11X. It was finally a leak that when Howard first got hurt, it would be a 5 to 6 week injury. They lied, saying stinger. I'm so tired of the dishonesty and mismanagement of injury. Also, injuries in general. D Block. I actually thought about making a video about that. Not necessarily like kind of featuring that aspect of what happened. But I want to get into the sports science because we were groundbreaking on that sports science department. But what the hell has happened? Like, man, like I'd have to do a lot of research on that one, guys, and that might take me weeks to honestly get everything up and going with that one. So I don't know, guys. Well, understand, my man. Let's see. Sorry, guys. I'm getting everyone's comments. I promise you. Sorry, guys. I'm finding them. Lake Hollins, JJ James. Where is the library? Not near here, bro. That's funny. Y2Fly. Maniac Matt. I'm available. I don't think many people understand what you're saying there. I'm available to play receiver. I'm 6'1", 205 pounds. Laugh my ass off. Make sure the stretcher is available. I'm good for like a play or two. Exactly. All right, why to fly? Bro, I'm not gonna because some people in here might actually speak Spanish, bro. I'm not gonna do that. All right, baseball is so boring. Pineapple. I hate to tell you this, man, but I coach baseball, bro. I don't know if I ever told y'all this or not, but before I started the business, like reselling stuff on eBay and stuff like that, guys, I actually was a social studies teacher. I taught 8th grade social studies here in North Carolina, and I coached the baseball team. Still coach fall ball. I coach fall ball at the local high school down the street from me. Can we talk about hockey? Yeah, sure. I mean, I can make videos about hockey. Medical staff is trash, misdiagnosed. Yeah, they do, bro. There's a lot of weird things, like the whole situation with Carson Wentz. I don't even want to get into that, man. But with the whole like back situation with him last year, like people should have got fired for that. That's some serious shit that happened. Y'all need to sign Tony Romo, quarterback coach, maybe. If he would take something like that, man. I mean, all right, sexy vegan. Russell is good, but my God, he is so slow. Yeah, he's not the fastest corner. Maniac Matt, when the receiver's eyes go up, then turn around and play the ball. It's not that hard, right? I mean, come on, man. I learned that back when I played Pop Warner. Come on. All right, Jason. Pineapple is trolling Steve. Yeah, I figured after I started reading like his 1,000 comments. It's all good, man. Hang on. It's not that hard to fix it. Sorry, bro. I got to put you in timeout, man. All right. Yeah, I am. I just put him in timeout. I don't want to block people, man, because I honestly, like, I don't care if people troll really as long as they're not getting ridiculous about it. Rasul should move to safety. Man, I've seen a lot of people say that. To be honest with you, I haven't really looked over his footwork like that to see how he would fit there, but he's got the physical size and he's not scared to tackle. So he's got some aspects to that. Exactly. Left my ass off. What the hell is so hard about that? I don't get how these people struggle like Ronald Darby with simple basic fundamentals, man. Like that one, like number one, he did it in Miami. He did it in Miami to where he had very good coverage, but he just simply didn't play the football. Because he didn't play the football, you know what I mean? You don't play the football like a guy like Devontae Parker is going to make you look stupid if you don't play the football. Mills should replace McLeod at safety. Yeah, but then we start running out of corners, guys. That's the problem. I mean, I guess if we're going to draft, but I mean, we just haven't had a lot of luck at drafting corners, guys. I mean, I'll say one thing in terms of Howie Roseman. It's his fault because he's in charge of the front office. He's the GM. But I will say this, man, the scouting department has to do a better job of putting players in front of Howie Roseman to draft because we've been hitting on some pretty big, not hitting that we would want to do. We've been missing on a lot of big selections, and we can't keep having that happen. Philly, let's go D. I heard a stat: Eagles are 23-2 when they have 130 yards rushing. You can see the top teams have a great running game. If I see Wentz chucks it again over 50 times, got to question the play calling. I've already been questioning the play calling, man. And I heard a similar stat. I agree with you. Baltimore and other teams are very good at running the football. And I don't think it's a coincidence they have some of the best records in the NFL. I even made that point that Carson Wentz, or I'm sorry, not Carson Wentz, that'd be the wrong person. Doug Peterson said that this is a passing league, and in my opinion, yeah, you're right. The league's passing you by because you're making stupid comments like that. All right, Maniac Matt. Pineapple needs to go. He's been disrespectful to everyone in here. I'll put him in a timeout, man. If he keeps getting crazy, then I'll go ahead and block him. Like I said, guys, eventually, let me see if I can't. I don't. Let me try to hit settings, guys. Maybe if I go into settings, maybe it'll let me. Go to guest. Audio, camera, general. Let me go to general quick again, guys. Yeah, it's not letting me use crap here. I'll play around. Like I said, guys, I'm not really familiar with StreamYard, but I'll play around with it after this live session and just kind of get a feel for it. And I'll give some of you guys actually I'll give you guys wrenches. That way you guys can just go ahead and start taking care of people that start trying to troll like that. So I ain't got to worry about doing it. D Block 11X. It's the bad coaching all around. Look how many players have regressed nor grown at all. Yes, counting is awful. What the fuck are they looking at? I don't know, man. The college scouting is really bad, real bad. I agree, man. Some of this has to do with coaching. Some of it absolutely has to do with position coaching. J Smack, I like Mills at cornerback. I do too. I do. Mulata for goal line fullback. That dude's a big dude, man. He can move some people, that's for sure. Click on picture. All right, J Smack. Let me see if it'll work, man. See, hang on. Let me see if I can go to show, maybe. J Smack, I'm trying to, but the thing is like when I click on your pictures, man, it doesn't pop up like it does on YouTube regularly. So what it does is like it pulled you up to show you on the screen. That was pretty much it, your comment. Let me go over here. I'm going to have to play around with it and figure out how to do it. Edit. Now it's just editing the title. I'll figure it out later, guys. Have any of you guys ever used StreamYard? If you use StreamYard and you know how to do it, just let me know. Quarterback. Right click on the picture wrench. Right there. All right, let me try to right click it, man. Nah, they didn't do crap. Yeah, nah, right clicking ain't doing crap, man. The green pants coming back. Haven't seen Wentz in those since his rookie year. Yeah, man. I don't know why they don't use certain uniforms more. The run sets up the pass in any error. I agree, Maniac Matt. Doug talks a bit odd at times. Yeah, he does, man. I think sometimes like what gets my nerves about Doug is like he tries to talk over people's heads. I don't like that about Doug. Like we get you're a smart football coach, but come on, man. Like sometimes the things you say and the things you do are just ridiculous. We pass 50 times a game. Yeah, that's a little ridiculous. I still feel if we run first, we will win more times than not. I agree. I still don't get why we go empty set on first downs and stuff like that. I mean, when you got a quarterback who, he was struggling with, number one, he was struggling somewhat with his footwork in the pocket. His mechanics were off. Why are we making it harder on him, putting him in weird second and third down distances? Run the ball. Set him up for more successful passing downs. I don't get it either, Maniac Matt. Lone revolver, design more rollouts for Wentz, and run the ball more should help. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree with that. Bird Gang, what's up, man? The matchup to watch is Big V versus Montez Sweat coming off the right edge. What's up, everyone? Yeah, man, I agree with you, man. That luckily Big V does play better when he gets a full week of practice, but yeah, Montez Sweat matchup does make me a little concerned because the one thing I will say about the Redskins is their defensive line and their rush ends are pretty good. Maniac Matt, like he's always the smartest man in the room. Yeah, man, he's very condescending. Doug Peterson really can be condescending. That was a knock on him when they first hired him, that he probably wouldn't be able to handle the media in Philadelphia. So it is weird, man, because he is a little weird, man. Doug is stubborn. He can be. You heard him. It's a passing league. I don't get it, man. Yeah, StreamYard won't let you give a wrench. That's what I thought, Bird Gang, is because I couldn't figure it out either. So I'm going to have to play with that more, guys. I mean, like I said, we're just testing this. Like I'm going to get Philly Mike on here too, so that way we can go back and forth. His whole concept is Philly Mike and I, he's supposed to be here to balance me out, guys. So we'll get Philly Mike in here the next time we stream, and we'll make a decision on StreamYard or we might use another app. one that allows us to assign wrenches to everybody, so that way I don't have to be the only person here trying to moderate people trolling. All right, Victor, do the Cowboys have our number, or are we just always starting practice squad players? To an extent, they have our number, Victor. I mean, they do. I will also say the statistic you see about like the 5 games and stuff, they benefited somewhat from when they played us. I mean, one of those 5 wins, I believe, was the end of 2017 when we already had everything wrapped up. So counted that they won, but I mean, come on. We weren't at our best last season. And look, they caught us square on the chin this season, the first time. I got a feeling that's going to, well, I'll just say this. They're going to have the better roster going into that game next week. If I was a Cowboys fan, I wouldn't have any faith. I wouldn't have faith in that roster. There's no excuse why they're playing the way they're playing. Sexy Vegan, I say we trade Big V for Greedy Williams. The Browns are desperate for a left tackle. Bro, if they would do that, I'm pretty sure we would be all over that. I don't think they will, though. But yeah, I'd be on board if they did something like that. Maniac Matt, we should always make the defense guess what we're doing and not empty sets so they know we're passing. We just keep it simple, stupid with end reason. Yeah, exactly. I agree, Maniac. Like, even if you go empty set to get a matchup, then give Wentz the ability to, like they were doing last game, audible back into a running play, bring someone back into the back. You know what I mean? Like, we got to set Carson Wentz up for better success. Like, and some of that comes with running the ball more consistently and running the ball earlier and down. I hate when they go empty back set, throw on first down, then try to come back and run second down. Like, yeah, man, it's just, I agree, man. Sometimes Doug Peterson gets a little too smart for his own stuff. Philly, let's go D. I actually think Doug handles the media good. I think he tries to be honest as possible. Philly, let's go D. I think he's gotten a lot better at it. I do. I'm saying when he first came in, the knock was that they were concerned he wouldn't be able to handle the media. Not that he's necessarily bad at it. I just think that Doug has a tendency to try to talk like, kind of like, like he's Colonel Sanders and he's got the I'm saying, he's got the season, the secret season. It's just weird the way he approaches people at times. I do think he's become more jovial towards the media. He's joking and laughing a lot of times on the press conferences, but I do think when they press him, he comes a little bit unwound a little bit. Starts doing the weird licking of the lips things that he does, and like he starts moving his hands a lot, and you can tell when he gets a little unhinged. You're doing great, brother. No worries. Appreciate it, Maniac Matt. Yeah, I mean, this is the way we envision this, guys, is that me and Philly Mike, we were going to come in and talk, do these together. He sent me the StreamYard today. I told him I would check it out. So I sent him the link, but I think like I said, I think he went to bed by the time I kind of jumped on here and went live. So, we'll get it together, guys. We'll get it together. I want to talk to, I'd like to talk to him because I'd love to add a third person, honestly, to it. It works well when you can bounce conversation off of people. You know what I mean? It's a more natural conversation. Let's see. What were y'all's thoughts on Ertz, man? I saw a lot of crazy stuff about Ertz. Trading Ertz. I like Dallas Goedert, man, but I ain't too sure Dallas Goedert's ready to carry that mantle yet. What'd you guys think about that? Aguilar is going to be playing Dungeons and Dragons in his mom's basement during the off season. Yeah, he kind of strikes me as that type of dude. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't want to ever say anything is guaranteed just because, like, I'll make the decisions. But I would be shocked if Aguilar was back. I can't see any way that bridge is mended. And I think the coaching staff loves that kid. But I just can't see how they can mend that bridge, man. I don't see how you can mend that. I think it's way too far gone. I mean, it sucks, but it's the truth, guys. I mean, I think that's just been too adversarial for too long between the city, the player. I'm pretty sure people in the locker room feel a certain way towards him. I mean, I just don't know, man. Philly, let's go D. No way we're trading Ertz. I tend to agree, man. I think that would be a huge mistake, but man, I've seen some people throw that out there. I mean, let's see. Maniac Matt, I'm open, bro. Way more than Nelson to do the show with you guys. Laugh out loud. All right. All right, Maniac Matt. We might have to hit you up for that, man. For real. D-block _11X. Last week, we started having a great run-pass ratio. Doug always says things that are contradictory. Hell no, no more Aguilar. I agree, bro. I don't get the run-pass ratio that he goes into games with sometimes, especially like when I first learned that we were going to be without Howard for an extended period of time. I was like, okay, crap. Like, it's going to be hard to run Sanders like that. Then they signed Ajayi, and it's like, oh, okay, like, all right, we're going to be okay. Then Ajayi came out, and I don't know if it's conditioning with Ajayi or if those knees are done. But that was depressing. I was like, we're not going to run the ball a lot. But then Miles Sanders started really looking good on the run. I don't get it, guys. I don't get why he abandons it at times like he does. Sexy Vegan, we're going to draft either a linebacker or another defensive lineman that's never going to play. Probably so, guys. Sorry, I had to have a drink, guys. Philly, let's go. D. Aguilar did have a great Super Bowl game, but his time is done here. I agree, man. He had a spectacular Super Bowl game. I mean, I was shocked at how well he played. Suggs, I want him as middle linebacker. How old is Suggs, man? Was he like 37, 38, guys? Only $350K. Doug's reasoning are so absurd. He says one thing and does the other. When we play weak run teams, we throw, laugh a lot. Yeah, I agree, man. I don't understand the strategy at times that he uses. Like he'll deploy for a game. Like you have a team, like even the offensive line of Miami, where they're just like, I mean, they were pushing the Dolphins defensive line like 3 or 4 yards down the field. If we don't stick to the run, that one I do not get, especially when Fitzpatrick started to catch fire. Get him off the field and keep him off the field. Run the ball. I don't understand that one either. Philly, let's go. D. Ajayi looks slow. I'm surprised he is on the team. I think it's purely out of necessity. I agree with you, man. He doesn't look right to me either. He doesn't look right at all to me. Smith, we clearly see Wentz is when he is in control of the offense. Charles, I agree, man. That was a big switch up, man. I think that once they relinquished some of the control to Wentz, like he started having better fundamentals in the pocket. He started seeing the field better. Like everything switched. I mean, he took a group of guys, or if you told me that was who we were going to play with in the fourth quarter, even against the Giants, I'd have been like, oh, well, that's an L. I mean, yeah. D block, especially up 14. Exactly. Like, look, I know that we never were up 14 after the Miami Dolphins got the football, but even when you got up 7, you're up. You're winning the game, control the clock. You know Fitzpatrick is going to catch fire eventually. I don't get a D block. I don't get it either, man. I don't understand why Doug does some of the stuff he does at times. Sexy Vegan, Carson looks a lot slower since he tore his ACL. I kind of agree. I think he's also, I don't know if he's just slower, if he's just more hesitant to tuck it and run, to be honest. There was one play in particular during last week's game where I was literally screaming, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Run. It's 2 yards. You got it. Pick it up." I think somewhere deep down, that pressure on being injured is still that monkey's still on his back, man. I think that is definitely still on his back. Philly, let's go D. Okay. I don't think Carson lost speed to me. They need to let the kid play. He's not a strictly pocket QB. Philly, let's go D. I agree that he is not a pocket. He's not a strictly quarterback like that plays from the pocket. I get the feeling that Doug Peterson wants to treat Carson Wentz like he's Drew Brees, and he's not. He's not. He's not that type of player. I mean, I hate the comparison, but there's merit to the comparison. This kid is a Brett Favre type. I think he's better. He makes better decisions with the football than Brett Favre did, but he's that style of football player. He's a gunslinger. He's a guy who's going to try to make things happen on the edges. He's a guy that probably plays his best when the play breaks down. I mean, I agree, man. You got to let the kid play. I don't know if he's lost speed or not. Like I said, it's hard to tell. I mean, he does look like he labors a little more on the field at times to me, but like I said, I'm not sure that he's just not scared about re-injuring the knee again. I think that's what I would suspect is going on there. he's scared about hurting that knee once again. So it's hard to say, guys. It's hard to say. I know a lot of y'all probably, is everyone kind of in agreement that Ajayi's done? There's just nothing left in the tank for Ajayi, or do you guys think it's conditioning? Where are you guys at on that? By the way, guys, I don't really drink Miller. What ended up happening was, guys, I got married in June, and my wife, my then fiance, now wife, did the calculations for how much beer and wine we had, and she overshot it. So now I have cases of like Miller Lite and crap in my house. What about outside of just Jay Ajayi, guys? What are your thoughts on Jason Peters, man? Jason Peters is a weird thing, man. On one hand, I feel like Jason Peters was part of the reason we were able to come back, because like he got in these guys' faces and challenged them. But at the same time, like, man, he got beat on that play that Wentz got rolled up into Johnson's leg. He was pretty much the reason why that occurred. He looks slow to me at times. Peters does. Like he's not. He needs to be gone. Let me read some of your comments, guys. I don't know why people are saying Foles is greater than Wentz when Foles would be injured by now. Sexy vegan, I don't get that argument either. I like Foles a lot, but he's not the same talent that Wentz. Like, to me, it's a ridiculous argument. Charles Smith, I'm also not understanding why we are going into the game with 3 wide receivers. Makes no sense, man. I'm with you. It's a bad decision for 2 weeks in a row. Why didn't we bring up another receiver, time to activate Nelson and move on with the younger guys? Yeah, I think we all agree with you, man. Philly, let's go D. He's done. I agree. He's done. Charles Smith. Sexy vegan. Yeah, Ajayi is done. Wentz is the highest rated quarterback on rollouts and bootlegs. Exactly. He plays better outside the pocket. Philly, let's go D said he's done. On Jason Peters, do you think? I think it's time too. I wouldn't. I think we got to let Peters retire, man. I love the guy to death, man. But yeah, I think it's time to move on. Conditioning for J Train. Jason, you think it's conditioning? There's a part of me that kind of agrees with you, just because he hasn't had, time to really get back in shape. But man, he does look slow in that field, man. Maniac Matt, shit is crazy. Sexy vegan. Jason Peters is going to retire after this year. I agree. I think so too. Peters is still pancaking guys. At times, yes. But man, he's also at times getting beat bad. I like the idea of Jason Peters pushed to guard. Jay Smack, that's what I wanted to do with him as well. I didn't understand why they didn't do that. Look, I know that the Eagles really like playing certain, like Suamalu on swings, or not swings, but pulling him as a guard. But there are times when I watch film on Suamalu, and man, he's given half-ass efforts at times on blocking plays. I would have probably bounced him inside too. This year has been beyond frustrating. I used to think Doug was a mastermind. I did too. I'm not sure what's going on in that building. Clearly, there's a lot of dysfunction. We need new OC, quarterback coach, wide receiver, and corner. Those are the definites. I agree. I agree with everything you just said there. OC is a definite. Quarterback coach is a definite. Wide receiver coach is a definite. And I would definitely move on I would move on from Underlin as well at corner. I don't get what some of these position coaches even do in and out on a weekly basis. Frank Reich is the Xbox that you want for Christmas, but you get a pair of socks named Mike Crow. Funny. That's a good one, man. All right, D Block. J Train looks like the little engine who couldn't. I like J Train a lot. I do. I'm concerned he's done. I'm concerned as well that he might be done. And that sucks, man. Because I thought J Train, I was pretty excited that, like, hey, man, like, I'm a little concerned with, once they got Howard back. But it's like, man, if you have a guy that needs to fill in, like, yeah, he's a good guy to have fill in for you. I have faith in Big V this game with a full week of practice at right tackle. I also would resign him because he's good reserve in a pinch. Charles, I agree. I do like Big V, unless unless there is a willing trade partner out there that's willing to give up a lot for him. I would have moved him if that was really the case prior to the trade deadline. Ajayi has had a handful of decent plays, called back on flags. He had the one big run I do remember that got called back on a flag. Victor Parker, did you hear anything about us getting Janoris Jenkins? I didn't, man. I haven't heard anything about Janoris Jenkins at all, other than he got released. I don't even want to say it, man, because I don't want these people coming after me, but I'll be honest with you. I think sometimes people that get on these Twitter rants about stuff, I think they're being a little disingenuous. I actually had a conversation with my wife about this earlier today, that those people that came after Janoris Jenkins for saying the R word, because I'm not going to say it because I damn sure don't want them coming after me. I got a feeling they say it in the privacy of their own homes too. Trust me, I love Jay. Yeah, I think we all did. I mean, I was kind of happy when they brought him back, even though I kind of thought, like, man, we haven't had a good track record of bringing back guys. But yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, it could be conditioning. You know, it could just be that knee's not right. It's hard to tell, man. It's a big injury to come back from. I'm so glad I got my mom a fake Aguilar jersey last year instead of a real one. Save yourself some money. I know I got to update my jerseys too, man. I still got my McNabb jersey from like back in the day. I got my my B-Dog jersey. The problem, I sell a lot of sporting memorabilia. Like right now, guys, I don't know if you guys can see it. Hang on, I'll try to bring it over. But I got this Yankee blanket I just picked up. I got to get pictures taken and posted up. But a lot of times when I get, and I'm not a Yankees fan, guys, I'm a Phillies fan. But when I get memorabilia, I generally sell it. So like sports memorabilia for me moves very quickly. I sell it very quickly. So it's hard for me to keep stuff like that personally. But yeah, man, like I actually sold a Vic jersey I had a old school Reebok stitched Vic jersey that I didn't want to sell it, man, but like I got pretty good money for it, so I had to let it go. But Charles Smith, laugh out loud, yeah. Talking about sexy vegan, that's pretty funny. To me, this team, at least the offense, needs a complete overhaul. I'm not even sure I want Alshon in 2021. With the way his contract is currently structured, Victor, I think it would be a miracle if he's back without restructuring in 2021. I can't see that happening. I think he's going to make like 18 million in 2021 if he's back on the roster. I can't see that happening. Victor Proctor, what do you think of our new recover off the practice squad? Oh, receiver. I get what you mean. Oh, I just made a video, man. I made a video earlier today about it where I broke down some film study on him. Incredibly athletically gifted guy. 6'3", 219 pounds, runs a 4.4. Guy had an 11-foot 4-inch broad jump. His vertical jump was pretty impressive. I think it was like 41 inches. Like this kid's an athletic. He's a specimen. If he can take all that athletic ability and translate that to the field, he's going to be a big deal, man. I think the one area that he will absolutely help the Eagles is he can get vertical. This kid, Robert Davis, can get vertical. Now he's got a lot of work he needs to do in terms of the a lot of the inner routes, like things like slants, things like comeback routes, things like in routes, just in breaking routes, pitch routes, stuff like that. He's got to work a lot more on it, but he can get vertical. Yeah, he definitely solves a big need we had. And I don't know why we waited this long to bring him up. Did you go to the Eagles parade? Sexy vegan, I did, man. At that time, man, I was actually I managed security service for a hotel, and there are certain events like I can't get off for, and I don't do that before I even started teaching, but I couldn't get off for it. So, and at the time, I was actually teaching and doing that on the side. Jason Wall, PC virtue signaling is messed up. It's done mostly by bad people who want to look like good people, destroy people's lives. Yeah, I agree with you, man. For something they forget in a week. Yeah, man, the political correctness crap gets on my nerves, man. I don't get it either. Definitely about to check that out. Do you think the Eagles should pick up Janoris Jenkins? Lone revolver. I think we already got a log jam at corner. I think we need to let some of these guys go, honestly, and bring up a receiver. Should he get a workout? Yeah, should get a work. Philly, let's go D. I would say Nolan Jenkins, overrated. I don't think he's as good as some people make him out to be. I tend to agree with you there on Philly, let's go D. However, is he better than most of the? Is he better than Darby right now? Debatable. Probably a push. Lone Revolver, even compared to Darby, I feel like yeah, you're basically picking up the same thing I was saying. Um, People were throwing beers at Jalen Mills. It was fun. Were they? Oh, I get what you mean. You know, like the old school, like Stone Cold Steve Austin days, where you used to throw it out to the crowd and stuff, and then sorry, vice versa, the crowd used to throw it into him. Maybe you're right because Darby stinks. I don't know what's going on with Darby, man. That guy went from being a future star to being incredibly frustrating to watch on a weekly basis. I don't get it either, man. Darby is probably one of the most disappointing Eagles that I've watched personally. I don't understand it. Sorry, guys. It's been going for over an hour, so I'm trying to keep my throat wet. J Smack, Darby can't tackle at all. I was actually going to make a video breaking down Darby's play, but I was too frustrated to even make the video. And I don't want to make a video where I seem like I'm screaming in the camera because then it kind of comes across if I'm screaming at you guys instead of screaming at the players. But that one tackle that he missed that got broke for a touchdown, why he decided to go for the inside leg instead of going to the outside leg and going through the receiver for the tackle, I don't get it, man. Basic stuff we're taught from a very young age. We need to sign the cat from Monday Night Football. He has some speed. I think overall this team needs more speed. I mean, we can even get into the conversation of things like why in the world did we wait so long, so long to get it through our heads that as much as we might appreciate and love Darren Sproles, it was a mistake. I mean, I thought when they re-signed him, he was going to be back to like handle punt returns and stuff like that. Maybe on occasion come in as a trick play, kind of player. Bro, when they came out week 1 and he was basically the featured back, I was about to have a stroke. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Every cornerback gets burnt, but you can't tackle. It's a problem. Yeah, that's the old Bill Parcells mentality. Everyone does get burnt, but tackling's the number one thing. That's a Bill Parcells thing. Jason Wall, Miller needs to cut you a check, brother. Laugh out loud. That's funny. Be honest with you, Jason, bro, we were trying to be cheap, man. We were trying to be cheap with it just because, like, I had to pay for, if any of y'all ever married, you know how it is, man. You got like 100 some people. Like, I'm sorry, but we're not doing craft beer for 100 some people. So we went out and got I think we got, God, I want to say like 12 cases or something like that. But we had like 2 or 3 different types of beer. Then we had all the wine. Like, ended up taking home a lot. Darby regressed because of coaching. It's all technique. D-block, a lot of it is technique. I agree. A lot of it is things that can be cleaned up with a coach that knows what he's doing. I do agree. Lone Revolver, same thing with Chris Carson from Seattle. Game Darby just bounced right off of him. I don't blame him on that one. Chris Carson's a truck. I think we all could have predicted that. I think I know exactly the play you're talking about where he just basically tried to duck away from him. He tried to hide from him. I think it was down by the goal line. I think I know exactly the play you're referring to. I might be a slow high school lacrosse player, but I'm faster than an injured Alshon. Yeah, he's not. You're still in high school, sexy vegan? You're young, bro. You got your whole life ahead of you, man. JLU, love your content, man. I appreciate that, buddy. These coaches are garbage. Agree. You better be teaching the secondary on how to do their jobs. Yeah, bro. I'm with you on that, man. Jason Wall, I was just making a joke about product placement, like in Seinfeld. Yeah, that's funny. On a separate note, if you haven't tried Miller, no, just joking, guys. I actually had an organization. I was kind of shocked, but I had a brand reach out to me, believe it or not. I turned them down just because what they were asking me to do seemed really spammy. But I was kind of shocked because I don't have a big audience yet, guys. I mean, you guys know you've been following some of you guys have been following me since I had like less than 20 subscribers. There's a few of y'all have been with me since like day one. So y'all know. I mean, I was kind of shocked, but like when I talked to the rep about it, man, it seemed real spammy. Like I was like, no, I'm good. Like I ain't gonna lie to you, man. The payday would have been nice, and it was just a single. I only had to do a single ad for them basically, but I just it would have just been weird. You guys would have been like, what? Like, what's Gate City doing? Um, Chris Carson is a big dude. Yeah, he is, man. Yeah, another guy that we decided, to not draft. I'm not even going to go into who we decided to draft that year. All right, Lone Revolver. Yep. J Smack. I disagree. Schwartz, you coach Darby in Buffalo. He never could tackle. Yeah, he was suspect in Buffalo as well, but his coverage skills were way better in Buffalo. I don't know what happened. To be honest with you, J Smack, I'm not too sure what happened to him. The weird thing to me about Darby is that when I see him play zone, when he's playing the ball in zone, he's very good at it. When he's playing the ball in man, it's scary to watch him play in man, playing the ball. It's downright ugly to watch him play. Sexy Vegan, I'm happy I don't have to watch EDP for Eagle analysis anymore. I don't really watch EDP's Eagle stuff, to be honest with you. I watch his other content. Lone Revolver 1. Any quarterback prospect you looking into for the upcoming draft? I can't remember his name, man. The kid out of LSU. The kid out of LSU looks really good. But to be honest with you, man, I haven't really dived into the draft yet. As soon as the season ends, guys, I'm gonna dive into that type of content. But I just haven't had a chance yet to really scout someone. I mean, I have opinions on people, but I don't like sharing opinions yet until I kind of get an idea. EDP is an idiot. He's reactionary. He's reactionary. I mean, let's be real, man. We're Philly fans. There's a lot of us that are reactionary. Less than 20 gang day ones, baby. JLU, will Cravion LeBlanc play on the Redskins or Cowboys game? They're suiting up like 7 DBs. I think he's going to play JLU. I think it's just a matter of how many reps he's going to get. And are they going to go dime? If they go dime, he's going to play a lot. But I think they're going to need to go dime to get him predominantly involved in the defense. Other than that, he's basically just coming in to basically give Avonte Maddox and players like that a breather. So that would obviously limit his reps. But Cravion LeBlanc does need to play. But then again, I didn't see the last injury report, guys. I mean, if Darby's not a go, he's probably definitely going to play a lot more. Did you guys see that? Is Darby a go tomorrow? You guys know? I didn't get a chance to see it. I figured they probably listed him as questionable officially. What y'all think about linebacker, man? That was a position last year I probably would have been really pounding the desk for, wanting a premier talent. And I got to be honest with you, I don't think we have a guy at the linebacker position that I feel like is like the guy. But those guys have played a lot better than I thought they would. I'm actually shocked at the fact that they have been the Achilles heel, because I thought for sure that would be the Achilles heel to defense this year. Yeah, LeBlanc is more of a slot guy. But I think Chase Mack, I think what would happen is at that point, like you're probably gonna play Rasul Douglas on the outside, and then if Rasul needs a breather on the outside, then you're probably gonna move Avonte to breathe him, and then that would open up a few more reps basically for Cravion if we're staying primarily in the nickel and not playing any dime at all. Jason Wall, weird how we suit so many DBs, but you never see. Yeah, Ruscott. Yeah, pretty much, man. I don't get it either, man. I don't understand that one either. I think we dropped the ball letting Hicks go. Yeah, I don't get that one either, man. I know he had a lot of injuries, but he was clearly the more talented linebacker we had. What do you think we do in the draft next year? Wide receiver, probably in the first round or two. And I think we're going to probably get, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't go get 2 receivers, to be honest with you guys. In addition to getting a receiver or 2, I would not be shocked if the Eagles went out there and picked up a corner, maybe 2 corners. I know we have a lot of corners, but we just don't have anyone that is a premier corner at this point. If you're in position to get a guy who could potentially be a lockdown corner or a true X receiver, or a wide. You know what? Scratch the X receiver. A true wide receiver, a flank receiver with speed. I think you got to go make those moves, man. JLU, I think Suamalo needs to be cut or traded. He gives half-assed effort, and he tends to cause costly penalties. Yeah, man. You know what's crazy is that Suamalo can be spectacular, and in the same series can give a half-assed effort. I don't get it either, man. There's been a few plays where he's been pulled as a guard. He's pulling it from that guard positioning, and he just barely goes into the defender. And by the way, as good as I thought Dallas Goedert was last year at blocking, he's not been good this year, man. I'm seeing way too often on film him rolling at the feet of defenders. If that's him just rolling at the feet, that's got to be coached up. It's got to stop. And if that's by design, it's ridiculous, man. Lone Revolver, LJ Fort. Yeah, man. LJ Fort was a huge mistake to let go. I still haven't gotten over that one. J Smack. We got a bracket. McLaurin. Yeah, McLaurin cannot beat us. If we lose this football game, it better not be because of McLaurin. Sexy Vegan. I want Cleavon LeBlanc jersey. You want that strap jersey? Is that 34? Yeah, Lone Revolver, Ford as well. J Smack, 2 wide receivers, a cornerback. If you let Howard leave, a running back. Man, if we let Howard leave, I got to question this front office. Because what are they seeing we're not seeing? Because when I look at Howard, I see a guy that, man, the Bears gave up on way too early. I bet you they wish they had that back. Philly, let's go D. When Mills is your best corner, we need to address it. Yeah, bro. Absolutely. 100%. Jason Wall, but I do really like, Camus Grugier-Hill and Jerry flashes too. Yeah, he does. Jerry's very good in coverage. He's a really good coverage corner. Or linebacker, my bad. He's basically like a corner. He's a former safety, basically. Dillard is good at pulling. Yeah, Dillard's got some skill. Dillard's been a better run blocking OT than I thought he would be, to be honest. I thought definitely like that might be the thing that hindered him getting on the field early, and it hasn't been a problem at all. I mean, it's crazy because I'll listen to one guy talk about Dillard, and they'll be like, oh, Dillard is underperforming. He doesn't look good on film. And then I listen to another person, and I'm like, no, like this kid he's playing really good football. It's crazy like how far the spectrum is on what people think about Dillard. Charles Smith, we need to stop blitzing our corners and safeties and protect on the backside. 100%, man. 100%. Sexy Vegan, Jerry was a safety in college. Yeah, he was. 2020 vision, how do you have this game? 60-40 Eagles or 50-50? Ooh, good question, man. I'm going to go 60-40 Eagles. I think this is our game to lose. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying we can't lose this football game, but it shouldn't happen. At the end of the day, we're still the more talented roster overall. We got some questions in terms of the receiving core, no doubt about it. But, I mean, they got a young quarterback that he's not seeing the field very well. I think he's got talent, though. I think Dwayne Haskins actually does have talent. But it's crazy. JLU, if you had to pick only one, CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy, or Henry Ruggs. Ooh. I mean, I think CeeDee Lamb is clearly the first choice there. Jerry Jeudy's a good football player. But be real with you, man, I know this would probably be controversial, but I'd probably take Henry Ruggs over Jerry Jeudy. I'd probably put him as my number 2, then Jerry Jeudy number 3. But to be honest with you, if we end up with any one of those 3, I'd be pretty damn happy. Jason Wall, good point at Charles Smith. Schwartz is a very uninventive blitzer. Yeah, man, I don't get that one either. I'll follow him with that one as well. Winters, it's the coaches that worry me. Position coaches really worry me. J Smack, y'all haven't catch that our linebackers are small and they starting let people run on us. I think that's always been the case since we let go of Brown, since Zach Brown's been gone. I did think that maybe getting back Bradham would probably help a little bit with that, but I think Bradham is just kind of expiring past his usability for us. Philly, let's go D. Good stuff tonight. Enjoyed the chat. EAGLS Eagles. Yeah, man, I'm about to time it out too, man, here in a minute. Des22, do you think Alshon Jeffrey Des, what you asked me, man? You thinking me what I think about Alshon? Tremendously talented guy when he's fully healthy. I don't think he's been fully healthy this year, and I think his contract is too expensive. If he's able to get back early enough in the season next year, I think we keep him just because it's a little much to eat $26 million in dead money. However, if he's going to be out 12 months, just like Jalen Mills, it's basically out for the entire year anyways. You either got to restructure that contract or you got to cut him. J Smack, no Judy, you can do more. Des 22, like I said, I'm fine on any of those guys. Let me go up, guys. I'm sorry, it's scrolling past where I was at. All right, Des 22, do you think Jeffrey will be gone next season? 50-50. 50-50 on it, man. I think it's going to depend on the length of the injury. If he's out for a full year, I think there's a 50-50 shot that he might be gone. JLU, CD can one-hand catch like OBJ if need be. I like CD Lamb as well. Charles Smith, Des 22, they said 9 months. I heard anywhere between 9 to 12 months, Charles Smith. The problem is that when you have to have surgery, man, the variability of healing on that, it varies a lot. The gambling hippie, fly Rams fly. Yeah, bro, for this week, absolutely. Fly Rams fly. Jason, our run defense is D-line base. Absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of times when we're getting burnt, from my opinion, what I see happening is an over pursuit from the defensive end. They're not keeping containment. Every now and then you will see an offensive line get pushed on us. But we're pretty good normally at holding up there. Sexy Vegan, I can't believe Wentz is in his 4th year. His rookie year felt like yesterday. I agree, man. I think it's just how far time flies, man. It just goes by fast, man. 2020, our defense blitzing a lot to force Wentz to make a quick decision because they think he'll make a mistake. 2020, that's a good question. I think they are blitzing from the outside. Wentz has a hard time picking up the right side on blitzes. I don't know why, but for some weird reason, when that blitz comes from the outside right, he doesn't always identify it. Winners, I think all receivers who played with Foles got to go. Well, yeah, I mean, there's not that many left. The gambling hippie. I want 2 wideouts and first 4 picks next year. We need wideout help. King Cliff, do you think these rookie wide receivers will be something to build on, or should we start from scratch? I like Greg Ward Jr. We might have something. Might. Guys, I don't want to sound like I'm like, yeah, this guy's going to be the next big thing. Like, he has the physical tools. It doesn't always translate to play. What I have seen from film study and watching this kid play, I'm telling you, look out for number 14 tomorrow. Because this kid can get vertical. He's got a lot to learn when it comes to basically the route tree. He's not good at those inside routes. But I just have a feeling that teams are going to sleep on how fast that kid is. And I got to tell you, man, 4.4 speed, 6'3". It's hard to cover guys like that. Charles Smith, King Cliff, my bad, Charles Smith. King Cliff, to basically sum that up, let me see what Robert Davis does these next few weeks. Maybe you keep Greg Ward Jr., you keep J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. Maybe Robert Davis is a part of it. Maybe he's not. We got to see. Charles, is our field the reason for these foot injuries? Didn't think about that, man. Honestly, didn't think about that. Possibly. Something's going on. Something's going on for this to keep happening to us. J Smack, gotta go. Good talk though. Yeah, J Smack, I'm about to close it down here in a few more minutes, man. I appreciate you stopping in, bro. Jason Wall, great first live, Steve. You're on your way. I appreciate it, Jason. Guys, I'm about to close it down too. I know we've been on here forever, guys. Sexy Vegan, hopefully Big V, Stonewalls, DeMarcus Lawrence. Yeah, man. Corey Brown, what do you think about Peterson just let Carson play his game by allowing him to roll out of the pocket to be effective. Corey, I think that when you're struggling with your scripted plays, then you should allow some flexibility to go into a hurry up offense and allow Wentz to make decisions at the line. You got to speed it up, let Wentz make decisions, and then maybe that'll get you into a rhythm. I mean, that's how I feel about it. Guys, I really appreciate this. This was way more comments than I anticipated getting on this first live. I'm going to figure out some stuff, man. Lone Revolver, I appreciate you stopping in, brother. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you guys. I really do, man. Like I said, man, going forward, this is going to be an idea where it's going to be Philly, Mikey, and myself. I'll do some lives on my own too, but yeah, we're going to get some stuff, man. JLU, I appreciate it, man. All right, guys. I appreciate y'all, man. I'm going to let y'all, I know y'all got to get ready, bro. We got game day tomorrow, so I'm going to jump off here, guys, man. All right, y'all. You know what time it is. EAGLES. Hang on. Sexy Vegan, I just saw your comment. Good enough. Kind of is, isn't it? Kind of is like a sad Disney movie. All right, y'all. Peace. I'm out, man. Let's go, birds. Hey, yo, before I turn off, Charles Smith. Good night, bro.